So this is what God said to me during an encounter I had with him recently. And he said, son, the mind is the battleground for many people, but it's designed to be the place of dimensional convergence from a place of rest. In other words, from eternity to come into time and effectively bring eternal desires and purposes into being. Rest is the state of abiding in love, joy and peace, which is fully abiding in I am. This all comes back to us being in him and being in the I am, and the I am being in us. To be at rest, love, joy and peace, is to live loved, love living, live loving within the perichoretic circle of the dance. Now, if you don't know what perichoretic means, it's a Greek word. Perichoresis is a Greek word that describes the relationship between Father, Son and Spirit, simply. And it's like a circle of a dance. And you can be in the midst of that circle, and you can be surrounded by their presence in such a way that that experience will begin to renew the mind and expand consciousness. Because it will take you beyond anything you can experience here. When you're in that place, being within the mind of God, effectively. So the limitations placed on the mind by the religious and cultural systems restrict my children to a life of being slaves to the systems. A mind free from past restrictions has the capacity to shape reality creatively through the living connection to my grace within all things. Now, one of the scientific things that God showed me when I first went into heaven in 2010 was string theory. And string theory states that there are multiple dimensions, and within multiple dimensions there is something which is vibrating at the very smallest particle size, which again is Planck's constant. And that is what they call strings. Vibrating strings of energy, donuts of energy they call them, that are the building blocks for everything that exists. And string theory is what they call the unified theory, or the theory of everything. Now, when I went into heaven, God told me about that, and I was a bit like, whoa, no idea what you're on about. But he said that his grace, now we have all sorts of acronyms for grace, and we completely really don't understand grace. Grace is his divine enabling power. So there is no grace for you to do things which aren't right. But there is grace for you to do everything which is right, because he empowers us to. And when we do things that are not aligned with his will for our lives, we're doing things in our own strength. And that carries no grace, no enabling power. So God does not enable you to do things that are wrong. You enable yourself to do that. But what he does is enable you to do everything which is in alignment with your destiny. And so within the fabric of everything that exists, including us, there is vibrational energy. His voice, effectively, vibrating, and we can connect to that. So I can connect to the grace which was in an inanimate object, because God's in everything. And the ability that everything has to exist is because his observation of it. And so you can connect with that. And you can actually connect with the frequency of every material, and you can align yourself with that frequency, which is why Jesus could walk through things. Because he was able to control the vibrational frequency of his body in alignment with the frequency of everything else. Now, he did create it all, so he had a bit of an advantage over us in how it all worked. But he wants to teach us how it works. Know my heart, the precepts, know my mind, the statutes, and use my voice, the laws, to shape reality so the beginning and the end converge in time from eternity. Now, these are quite deep things, and you could meditate over that quite a while for that to get deeper into you. Now, I meditate over these things a lot. So religion is a veil of darkness masquerading as light, but it is only a DIY system of beliefs that conform my children to slavery. It's like we need to be set free from religion, from religious thinking, from religious observation, from everything that's tied to religion. Jesus never came to start a religion. In fact, Christianity has become a religion, and the understanding of being a little Christ, an anointed one as a son, has been completely lost. And so I wouldn't even call myself a Christian any longer because of its association with religion. No, I'm a follower of Jesus and a lover of God and a son of God, but I don't want to be associated with religion anymore. So I think we've got to be separated from the systems that we've been brought up into or have adopted. The religiously conformed mind is an illusion of having freedom and enlightenment, when in reality the mind is chained and darkened.